4, the difference between one term and the next is always the same, this difference is called the common difference. If the difference between numbers is always the same, does that make it linear or exponential? Linear. Okay, it makes it linear. So arithmetic sequences are linear. So here's an example right here. What is this doing every time? It's going down 6. Okay, it's going down 6 every time. So what is the common difference? What do you think that answer is? Yeah, the slope. What is the slope? -6. The common difference is -6. So when you take the difference of all of those, you get -6. What's the next question asked? What is the function rule? So we know this one is linear. We know it's linear, so y equals -6. The x goes beside it. If it's linear, y equals -6x. Then I also need to know the starting value. Does this one start at 32? No. Very good. You have to go, you got to go back a step. Okay, so what would it be starting at? 38. How do you get 38? You add 6 because you're going backwards. Okay, so this one starts at 38. That's your function rule. Okay. Your now next rule. Next equals -6. That's what's happening every time. To get what comes next, you take what you have now and you -6. For example, what if right now I have 20? What's the next number? What did you do? You subtracted 6. Starting at 38. Okay? All right. What does it mean when it says a sub 12? The 12th term. I can do it the long way, right? You do it the long way. What else could you do? Plug in 12 for x. You plug in 12 for x. So -6 times 12 plus 38. Anybody? What is it? No, it's -6 times 12. Okay. This is called an arithmetic sequence, okay? Now, jumping over to this side. A geometric sequence is a sequence of numbers where the ratio, anybody know what that math term means, ratio? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Divide. Ratio means you're dividing. So over here, we were doing the difference. Difference means to subtract. Okay, so here we would be dividing. This ratio is called the common ratio. So let's look at these. To go from 2 to 6, you could do what? Multiply by 3, or you could add 4. But what happens when you add 4 to 6? It gets 10. So does adding 4 work? No. What was the other thing you said would work? Multiply by 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18. Okay? So you're multiplying by 3. Okay? So the ratio is 3. Sorry. The ratio is 3. Okay? Oh, back up here. If you're multiplying, is that linear or exponential? That's exponential. Okay? The function rule is y equals. For exponential, you always have to start with the starting value. Okay, for linear, it doesn't matter what order. Sorry, Leah. So what is the starting value for this one? 2. 0. Oh. Okay, so I have to go backwards, right? I got to go backwards. Very good. Instead of multiplying by 3, I have to divide by 3. You have a calculator. 2 divided by 3, hit math, enter, enter. 2/3. All right, this is my starting value, 2/3. Let me make sure everybody's on board with that. You take 2 and you divide by 3 because you're going backwards. So if you type in your calculator 2 divided by 3, you get a repeating decimal, so you need to hit math, enter, enter. Okay? All right. The parentheses mean what are you multiplying by every time? What are we multiplying by? 3. And where does the x go?
In the little top.
Yep, at the top, the exponent. Okay?
Yep.
All right. My now next rule, next equals now times 3, starting at 2/3. Okay? Next equals now times 3, starting at 2/3. Okay? All right. A sub 12, somebody who hasn't answered yet. How do I find A sub 12? Somebody who hasn't answered.
2 to the 12th.
No.
Oh, I'm not doing that. 2 times 12.
You have to plug 12 in for x. So you do 2/3 times 3 to the 12th, and you type that all in your calculator at one time.
3, 5, 4, 2, 9, 4.
3 times.
So 2/3 parentheses 3 to the 12th power, 354, 294, 354,294. Questions? All right, number 1, each figure in the pattern below is made up of squares. Figure 1, figure 2, figure 3. Which explicit formula can be used to determine the number of squares in figure n? Well, first you just want to count. How many are in figure 1? 3. Write it down, please. If I write it, you should write it. There's 3 in figure 1. What about figure 2? 6. And figure 3? 12. Okay, so take a minute and write that down. So 3, 6, and 12. Okay, to go from 3, 6, and 12, do you add every time or do you multiply? You multiply by 2. Okay? So you multiply by 2. If you are multiplying, is that linear or exponential? Exponential. So I can mark out A and B. Okay? I can mark out A and B because those are what? Linear. Okay? So C and D are exponential. I know I'm multiplying by 2. Unfortunately, C and D both have multiplying by 2. Is 3 my starting value? No. Okay? You've got to go back a step. This is figure 1. Your starting value is your y-intercept. And if you graph a y-intercept, like let's say I'm at 2 right here. How do I write that as a point? 0, 2. The y-intercept always is at 0. So I don't need figure 1. I need what figure 0 would be. Okay? Instead of multiplying by 2, if you go backwards, instead of multiplying, you divide. So what is 3 divided by 2? 1.5. Okay? Your starting value is whatever it is going to be at the 0. You got to go backwards. Okay? All right, number 2, a sequence is defined by equations a sub 1 equals 6, a sub n equals 2, a to the n minus 1. What is the fifth, a sub n minus 1, what is the 5th term in the sequence? All right, guys, when you see these subscripts, I want you to cross them out. Does anybody know what I want you to write right here? I heard somebody say it, next. Next equals 2 times now. Okay? So that's your next now rule. Okay? Next equals 2 times now. So what does that tell you you're doing every single time? You're multiplying by 2. Okay? You're multiplying by 2. They want to know what is the 5th term. You have 2 options. You can write a y equals, but you'd have to think carefully about doing that. You can also just do it the long way. What is the 5th term? Well, what's the first one? 6. And what am I doing? If 6 is what I have now, I multiply it by 2 to get what I have next. So what would be the 2nd term? 12. You do 6 times 2, it gives you 12. What would be the third term? 24. You did 12 times 2 to get you 24. What would be the fourth term? 48. Okay, you're multiplying by 2 every time. What about the fifth term? 96. So the answer is D. I highly encourage just writing them out unless it asks you for the 60th term. Okay, then you might want to think of a shortcut. Okay. Just for the sake of our brain development, okay, we know that we are multiplying by 2. So I know there's going to be a 2 in parentheses and an X up high. What is my starting value?
3.
Very good. It's not 6. You would have to go to A sub 0. You'd have to go back a spot, and so it would be 3. And if they're asking for the fifth term, what would you put in for X? So let's check that real quick. Did it work? Okay. All right. Number 3, the first 4 terms of the sequence are shown below. 2, 9, 40.5, 182.25. What is the next number in the sequence? Ooh. 2 to 9, 9 to 40.5. That doesn't really make any sense, does it? Okay, so is 2 the first term or the 0 term? It's the first. Put a 1 on top of it. Okay? Andre, head up, please. So that's the first term. What about 9? Second, and the third, and the fourth. How could we use our calculator? Stat. Very good. That's the easiest way to do it. Go ahead and go to stat. Let's practice this. Go to stat. You're putting in 1, 2, 3, 4. So you press stat, press enter. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 9, 40.5, 182.25. All right, once you get them in there, you hit stat again, over to calc. Is this one linear or exponential? So I go all the way down to exponential, enter, enter. Okay. All right, what was the question asking? What's the next number going to be? So let's go to our y equals. All right, let's see if we get the right answer. Guys, you go to y equals, hit clear, and then you hit vars. Vars, down to 5. Over to EQ and press enter. Y equals vars 5 over to Q. Okay. What is the next number? Well, what comes after 1, 2, 3, 4? 5. So I'm going to go to second window, and what do I want it to start at? 5. And then go to second table. What is the fifth term? Until it start at 5. Because we want the fifth. Alright, now go to second graph. And so the fifth term is, I think you just put it wrong. Because this right here is one whole number. Clear enter. Yep.
I have a question.
Yep.
It's not about this. Not about that question.
Okay.
I think there's a typo in the next one.
Okay, we'll see. Guys, does anybody have a question about this one? Yeah.
Can you do it by dividing 2 the numbers?
Yes. Yes. Yep. Is that what you did? Good. Okay. Guys, give me a thumbs up if you could get this one on your own. Give me a thumbs up if you could get this question right on your own. Yeah, with your calculator. Yeah, like the way we just did it. If you understood what we just did. Okay. All right. On the back, number 4. An arithmetic sequence is shown below. We've got 5, 1, 3, 7. Which explicit formula can be used to determine the nth term of the sequence? Okay. Before you pick up your calculator, you have to decide if it is linear or exponential. Okay. So from so from 5 to 1, you do what? What do? You subtract 4. Oh, I see my typo. What should be the next one? Oh, I know what the typo is. This should have been a negative right here. That's the typo. Make that a -5 and it'll work. That's the typo. Make it a -5 and then it'll work. How do you go from -5 to 1? Oh, and this is -1. I'm sorry. Okay, it's -5 and -1. How do you go from -5 to -1? You add 4. What about -1 to 3? You add 4. And from 3 to 7?
It's the other 3 and 7 are negative. That's not in the answer choices.
Oh, golly, Pete. Yep, Sean's right. Okay. I'm really sorry. Okay, you don't have to do this one, just watch. I'll try to say it in 20 seconds or less. All right, this is what it should have been. From 5 to 4, you do what? Down 4, right? 1 to -3. Subtract 4, -3 to -7. Subtract 4. So you know you're going down by 4. What answer choices are wrong? C and D. And what is my starting value? I know it's not 5. I know I have to go back 1, so it has to be 9. Okay? I'm sorry about that, guys. Yep. Second plus 712. Okay, number 5. A sub 1 equals 4. A sub n equals 1/2. A sub n minus 1. What is the A sub 7 of this sequence? Okay, I see some subscripts, an n and an n minus 1. What do I want you to do? All right, and make it a. Next equals times now. Okay? So, that means that my first term is, what's my first term? 4. And every time I'm multiplying by a half. Okay? Let's do it the long way first. So, A sub 1 is 4. To get the next one, I multiply by half. What's half of 4? 2. Then my third term, half of 2, is 1. What is half times 1? Yep, 0.5 or a half. You got a calculator. What is a half times a half? Remember, we're multiplying by a half every time. Yep. What about A sub 6? Do math, enter, because all the answers are in fractions. Do math, enter on a calculator. What does it give you? 1/16. 1/8. And then A sub 7 is 1/16. Okay, so the answer is A. Okay, if we were going to write a y equals, what would have been the starting value? 8. Very good. Parentheses. 1/2 to the x. And what number would you plug in for x? 7. So you could also do it that way. Okay? All right, 3 more. Y'all got this. The frequencies for certain notes are shown in the table below. If the frequencies form a geometric sequence, what is the value of the common ratio rounded to the nearest hundredth? All right, circle the word geometric sequence. You do have to know, circle the word geometric sequence, you do have to know that means exponential. So write EXP under it. right? EXP, okay? Geometric sequence means exponential. You do have to memorize that. What am I going to do with the table?
Put it in stat.
Put it in stat. Oh, wait. It will work, but we have to change A sharp, B, and C to just what? Good, Simone. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 440. All right, now you hit stat again, over to calc, down to exponential, press enter, enter. Hit the delete button. And now hit again stat, over to calc, down to exponential, enter, enter. Okay, when you put it in your calculator, did you get this? 415.3?
Yeah.
Okay, it says what is the value of the common ratio? That means what's in the parentheses. So which one of these numbers would be in the parentheses? The B value, 1.06. Okay, and if you look, is 415 even an answer choice? No. Okay, so the answer is your B value. Guys, you might want to make a note that the common ratio was the B value in the calculator. You might want to make yourself a note. The common ratio was the B value in the calculator. 2 more. Number 7, the function a of n equals 3n minus 7 represents the value of the nth term in a sequence. What is the sum of the first and fifth terms in the sequence? What's something I should circle? All right. So the equation needs to be circled. If I circle it, you should circle it. Sum means to what? Add. Good. The first and the fifth. Okay. How do I find the first term? Plug in a 1. You plug in a 1. To find the first term, you plug in 1 into the n spot. To find the first term, you plug 1 in. Okay, because they've already done the formula. 3 times 1 is? 3. Minus 7 is? Negative 4. Okay. How would I find the fifth term? Plug in a 5. What do you get here? 8. Am I done? No, it said what is the sum? So you have to take these 2 answers and what? Add them, which gives you 4. Okay. All right. Let's hope I didn't make a typo on this one. I don't think it did. Which function can be used to determine the nth number in the sequence? Okay. I first have to decide if it is linear or exponential. Okay. So let's see. From 15 to 18 is add 3. 18 to 21 and 21 to 24 add 3. Okay. You have choices. You can put this in stat. 15, 18, 21, 24. You can put it in stat and you can go to lin reg because it's linear. Okay, you can put it in stat and it'll give you the exact answer without you having to do too much work. Or you're adding 3 every time. So that's the one that gets the variable because you're adding 3 every time. You're adding 3 per time. So which one has 3 in it? D. Where did the 12 come from? They went back a spot, and that's where they got the 12. Okay.